Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Matt here, and we back with another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. So today, what we're going to get into is just a couple of fights, probably only maybe like two, like three fights off the upcoming show this Saturday. UFC Nashville is going down. The main event, Corey Sandhagen is stepping in there against Rob Font. Rob Font is actually stepping in on short notice. So we're going to go over a couple things about this card, and then that's it. That's the end of the tweet. So let's get into it. Starting out with Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font. Okay, straight up, let's get right to the point. I got Corey Sandhagen in this. Rob Font is an outstanding fighter. I've always felt like he was a talented fighter. But I just think Corey Sandhagen is on a roll right now. And I think his game planning, the way that he chooses to approach these fights, the strategy, I should say, by far is some of the best, some of the best in the bantamweight division. So I mean, regardless of the skills that Rob Font brings to the table, I feel that Corey Sandhagen, while only it's only like it's been a short amount of time to game plan for Rob Font, but I kind of believe in Corey Sandhagen's team. I believe that they'll definitely be able to come up with some sort of a strategy to go out there and defeat Rob Font. I feel like Rob Font has definitely taken a lot of damage over like the course of his last three fights. So I'm going to lean more toward Corey Sandhagen is going to finish Rob Font. I don't think this is going to go to decision. Either way, I got to choose I got to choose Corey Sandhagen to win the fight. Either way it goes. So that's on that. Let's go to the co-main event. Jessica Andrade stepping in there against Tatiana Suarez. So it kind of depends, man. So on this one, I'm going to lean toward Tatiana Suarez, but I will say this. Jessica Andrade hasn't looked as good in her last few fights as previously. I'm not sure if age is catching up to her. She's not really old in age, but old in fight years, definitely. So I'm not sure if that's catching up to her, and she could be slowing down. Chin might be fading a little bit. However, I will say, in the return of Tatiana Suarez, I wasn't super impressed. GSP, I was not perfect. I was not impressed with your performance. Like, I didn't really, I don't know. It wasn't really hitting. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she did go out there. She did get the win, but you kind of feel like after all this time, you thought you were going to see a little bit more out of Tatiana Suarez to solidify that this is the person that's going to, this is going to be the next champion. And I didn't quite see that she'd returned to form as she was prior to taking all this time off due to injuries and, everything else. So I'm going to lean toward Tatiana Suarez, but it wouldn't shock me if Jessica Andrade was able to pull this off, because I kind of feel like, or at least in her first fight back, granted, it was only her first fight back, she didn't quite look as sharp or as clean as she did prior to all the injuries. So we'll see how that one works out. Going down, I'm kind of looking for this. I really want to see this fight. Diego Lopez stepping in there against Gavin Tucker. I really think Diego Lopez is somebody that could definitely be a good prospect. I was really impressed by his last fight. He did lose by the scorecards or by decision, but I do felt like he really showed a lot of people what that he deserved to be in the octagon, by pushing that pace. And really, I mean, going for submissions. He had strong striking, he had good grappling, good scrambles. So, I mean, all around, he looked like he was a pretty good prospect. I don't believe this fight is short notice, so I believe he's had a little time to prepare for this. So I'm kind of interested to see if he's going to be out there, if he's going to be able to go out there and defeat Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker definitely, he's got decent stand-up, he's pretty good at grappling, but he's getting a little bit older in his career, so I'm not really sure, and he can definitely, he's definitely got power. He could definitely knock you out if he needs to, but I'm kind of going to lean toward Diego Lopez, or at least that's who I want to see, as far as just to see if he's definitely going to be a prospect in the featherweight division. I'm not there's not a ton of. I mean, there's some good fights. Billy Q coming back against Damon Jackson. I got to go with Billy Q on that one. Kyler Phillips, I got to go along with him against Barcelos. Uh, Jeremiah Wells returning against Carlston Harris. That one's I kind of I want to see what happens with Jeremiah Wells. Let's see how he looks before you really just like this is the guy. So we'll see how he looks in that fight. But everything else, be interesting. Cody Durden fight against Jake Hadley. That might be kind of interesting. I might actually lean toward Cody Durden in that. I think his wrestling and his grappling, his top pressure, his cage grappling is something to really be dealt with. And I'm not sure if Jake Hadley is up to that task, but wouldn't shock me if he walked away with that. But, those are some of the fights I'm kind of looking at on this show. We'll see how that plays out. The weigh-ins are going to be tomorrow, so it'd be interesting to see if all the fights even make it to the octagon, make it to the cage, because sometimes they don't. But we will see how that goes down. Outside of that, not a lot of other things going on at the moment. Ariel Helwani did respond to Jamal Hill from, if you watched my previous video where I was talking about Jamal took exception to things that were said in the Yuri Prohashka interview done by Ariel Helwani. He basically responded quickly while he was at the DS Paul open workouts, but he basically said he is willing to allow Jamal Hill to come on his show. He invited him to come on his show so they could hash out their differences. No word on if Jamal Hill's accepted that or not. I don't really know how that's going to go, if he would even go on the show, because that kind of puts you in Ariel's world where he can kind of, you can kind of do his narrative and it kind of goes from there. But we'll see what goes on with that. Just wanted to kind of drop in on you guys real quick, kind of let you know what was going on, let you know about a couple of fights your boy is watching on UFC Nashville going down this Saturday night. We'll see how it all plays out. At least some stakes in the main event, so to speak. If Corey Sandhagen wins, he's definitely getting a title shot further down the road. It could be a rebuilding fight for Rob Font if he's able to win. And then, of course, in the co-main event, I mean, the UFC is leaning toward Tatiana Suarez going out there and washing Jessica Andrade so they can kind of push her forward to the top of the division to try to give her a title shot. So we'll see how it all goes down. I appreciate you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.